Of course, I think we have Mo on the Singularity on the side of Nameless Kings, and we have the 4 SAF boys here. These are the only 4 players for SAF tonight, so get used to their familiar faces, and it is indeed Mo on the Singularity. And looking at his build, Ruin, Wretched Fate, Pain Res, and Corrupt, pretty normal build for a tier 2 killer like Singularity. And his add-ons, if I can squint down there, looks like Kid's Ball Glove and Diagnostic Tool Repair. Ball Glove gives you a bit more overclock, like 8%. Personally, don't think it's a great add-on, but that's okay. And then the Ground Diagnostic Tool Repair does give you 4 extra meters on your tanks with your cameras. Ball meters doesn't sound like a lot cheap, but it is a massive help, especially when they are very far away from your cameras here.
See, I'm glad that you were able to tell us what those do, because I personally have absolutely zero clue. I don't know anything about the way this killer functions on the killer side. I just play the survivor set, so I'm very glad I have your insight here. But we do see, speaking of the survivor side, some pretty standard gameplay coming out. Our start has been very, very slow and methodical, saying that Spacey has just immediately entered Chase. He is going to be dropping this pallet, Shallow 9 tile, playing around both of the tiles for as long as possible, lithing potentially to his other tile connecting. But right now, it's about Spacey delaying this first tag. He's obviously been reinfected after getting it cleansed, but I think Mo is actually now looking to just get his infections up yet again. He's seen Andrew got an infection. He's trying to TP on him. This might be a free tag, but no, there is a pallet mid-9 to play around. We get the stun. That unfortunate Andrew unable to prevent the tag just there, although Tile 11 does buy us some extra safety. I think Mo is already looking to get an infection on somebody else. Yeah, that is exactly what he's done. He's managed to get that onto Monk in main as he commits his chase onto Andrew, reapplying his infection, zoning him towards 11 edge, potentially going to teleport over this pallet and get it down. Instead, actually just playing a lovely little mind game to put him on the ground. That's finally our first down. A beautiful, beautiful down playing around the power. Excellently, Mo is. But
yeah,
what's really concerning is obviously what I was trying to get at a bit earlier, Smunk, is that Singularity starts are very slow. You need to get your EMPs. Everyone needs to be having an EMP at all times. You need to be in a good position to be on your gens, and you kind of really do want to wait out Corrupt. Unfortunately, the chase didn't really get us there to be able to have all that setup done. So I think right now, as we see we're entering chase on the Monk yet again, Smunk, we could see a bit of a snowball very early on.
There is a chance here. Unfortunately, ping not working out for Mo there. Not getting the tag onto our Claudette play here. Also not going for the TP, interestingly enough, and rotating back to Hook. Expecting a pull there does come through onto Andrew. Now, earlier on in the chase where Andrew was being chased, you might not have caught it, but looking at the HUD, mid-chase with Andrew, he infected every single one of SAF's players during that chase, which was incredible to watch from my perspective. It was quite impressive, really, that he was able to keep on top of Andrew and start infecting and pushing the survivors off of gens. And here, we just see, unfortunately, Spacey going to be going down there, not quite understanding the mechanics of Singularity. You can't keep doubling back on yourself playing against the Singularity, because it just sort of puts the teleport point directly inside of you and results in what we just saw there, where the Singularity kind of appears out of the ground, pushes you out the way, and it results in a very easy down. But thankfully, we did get the FTP onto Andrew, so our tunnel out is off the hook there, but we have 2 survivors now on their first hook stage, 2 pain res tokens used as well. Ruin getting popped during that burst chase with Andrew, which is a great boon here for SAF, and they definitely need it, given the pace of how things are going. But having a glance around and I listen to all these generators, they're decently progress. There's nothing super high pro, but we're splitting the pressure fairly evenly, as we do find Andrew here once more, heading down to this little pocket over here. Unfortunately, Ormond Gym tile palette is gone, and all we have is the stinky little 4-lane to work with, which isn't great against Singularity, because exactly this will happen if you try and vault that window and do a CJ take. That was very cheeky. Nothing to work with here as well. We're going to be trying to get a TP, but excellent LOS breaking coming through from Andrew, buying his team as much time as humanly possible. Goes for a ambitious jiggy there. Doesn't work out in his favor. No dead hard on my man. We do know he is live, I'm pretty sure, so he will be dying edge by Shaq. And this is a really bad spot to die, because we're going to be able to get a hook relatively close to the front of main. Thankfully for SAF, though, no hooks have spawned on that corner at main, so we're not dead center of the map. And if we do get a pull on Andrew, he will be able to rotate down to Shaq and start playing around the Shaq using those strong tiles over there away from the generators. We see the first gen popping in the background, looking at the HUD as well. We have Spacey's gen about 50% way through. We have this odd, like, Z-Wall jungle gym is what I like to call it here, that Nia can try and use. I believe that's Addict. And looks like we just can't find anyone else. Sacred doing a great job of hiding. That's Monk. Sacred, formerly Monk, I should say. For those of you who aren't aware who the callout is, it goes by Sacred now, or is it Scared? Sacred? I forget.
Sacred.
Anyway, not a bad start for Moo. Yes, Sacred. I just can't tell because it's the UI is small, and I usually have it very big because I'm an old man now. I'm 27, so my eyesight's going, I guess. I'm just gonna blame it on the stream. Actually, I'm not old.
No, I mean, that is fair. I am honestly, I'm very blind, so I'm also struggling to read, but I am lucky that I am just aware of who plays what serve on this team, to be completely honest. It's kind of buying me all of the time I need for that. Unfortunately, speaking of time, Andrew is running out of that on hook. Spacey is coming in for a last second trade. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to do much, have any anti-slug like tenacity on the build to get him away from 9, but instead, we're not too worried about Spacey. We are just going to commit our tunnel out onto Andrew. He does make Shaq greeting the pallet very nicely, knowing that he would be able to break it quite quickly with the... What's it called when you're enraged like this, Monk? I'm not too sure, but... Overclock. Okay, he was overclocked, so he would have been able to break that pallet quite quickly and forced Andrew into a very bad position. Instead, we get that drop on the second time. We even have him TP through it to slow him down in the overclock. Now, playing lovely to this pallet at 6, jigging all the way to 5, having balance landing off this hill. Beautiful stuff. Might be able to make it all the way back to Shaq, but no, we'll continue to play around this filler at 6. In the background, we do see Addict on a gen as well. It's about 45%. I'm not too sure where it is. Andrew has just tried to spin Mo, dropping the pallet on his face. That's a mighty unfortunate way to go down, but that will be him out of the trial with 2 generators remaining. Spacey is getting another EMP up. Addict is still on main. It is whirring, although I think it is going to get interrupted. There is definitely a camera still in there. Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately for Addict, he's going to need to get that EMP off and make sure we cannot be teleported too, but too little too late. I don't know where that camera was, but that's going to be Addict taking a tag. I'm not too sure Addict understands the killer either. We did see Spacey making a little bit of a micro mistake, and that's one from Addict as well. So that is a very crucial tag given away on top of a gen we desperately needed. And speaking of gens, I wanted to talk about this a bit earlier, Smunk, but the game was moving so quickly. We had Andrew dead in 9, and that is both a blessing and a curse. It is so troublesome to get you out of that little zone there when you're in it, but also it's so strong when you're stuck there because you have 2 connecting tiles. Although what's really interesting about Groaning is that all of your gens tend to hover around that 9 side. You can have 9, Deep 9, 10, 8, Shaq, and then main as well, all so close by. And on a killer like Singularity, they're so easy to hold. We do have a lot of gens there still as well. I want to point out we have 10, we have 9, we have main, and I believe we also have 1 in Shaq. It's going to be so hard to break these now in the 3v1, but once you do get rid of a few of those gens, you can basically send every single chase there for the rest of the game, and it's how you see really low stages on this map because these resources are so strong potentially, and when there's no gens there's not a lot the killer can do if you're dying there. Unfortunately, not what we saw. All of our remaining gens are right there. You cannot be sending your deaths there. You need to get them to the other side of the map. You need to be honestly dying 3 or 1 at this point, and it's really hard to make it there when you have to traverse all the way through main. So I dare say, Smugs, these gens are probably going to be very difficult to break. We're gonna probably need to see Mo run out of kicks on one of them if we want to see it pop, because at this point, he's in such a strong spot to sit and play slow.
Speaking of playing slow, I think we're just going to be able to catch out Spacey here at the Z wall. He does, I think this is our live play. He might have it back if he's walked long enough, but he does opt to rotate back into the 4 lane here. The pallet is still up. He goes for a biblically insane greed, but he does make the pallet, not quite able to throw it. Really good pathing from him, though. We are hopefully going to be able to make that main gen pop, so it will be brought down to likely high stages or even a 4K one if Mo does play insane. Worth noting as well, Wretched Fate's still up on Spacey as well, so any gen he's doing, 33% slower. So he's been suffering with this the whole game. I do think SAF will be able to pop main eventually, as yeah, we're slowing it down quite a bit. Singularity's still here, though. We do catch out Sacred. He's been caught out. Sprint Burst coming in, though. He's got to try and get out of dodge as quick as humanly possible. That doesn't look like a very good hit on his end. Oh, that's a bit awkward. This is going to force Addy to try and get off that gen if he wants to go for a pull, but he also just needs to stick to gen. And I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's stuck the main building gen. Sacred once again infected. Good positioning from him here, pre-throwing the pallet so that way it doesn't break on top of him, but he does have to jiggy away from the pallet there as it's not very good. Overclock allowing us to catch up there. It is only 3%, but I think even without Overclock, he would have got the down there eventually anyway. But this is the time when Mo's realized, okay, there's a lot of pressure on the board now. I can just go and start slugging. A lot of these filler pallets in the middle here, not very good against Singularity. Once again, another teleport on top of Agdic. Doesn't go for the window, tries to go around. He's going for the medium volt lunge, results in a down here. Spacey out in the open, not a lot to work with. A bunch of cameras hovering above him. It's definitely looking like a 4K one. I thought maybe they might be able to pop all the gens, but unfortunately, Seiko just getting caught out in an awkward position spells the end for Saf. SAF here as we have a bunch of slugs on the ground. And the best thing Spacey can do here is try and buy some time, maybe get a lithe, rotate over, pick up Sacred if he's able to. But with Singularity just able to teleport on top of him at will, and a great zoning there from him as well, positioning from Mo. He's going to force Spacey to play this terrible pallet next to the shack if it's still even here, and it's not. It's actually gone. Don't know when that happened, but he will be going down in a very comfortable 4K1 for Nameless Kings. It is tieable if SAF's Singularity does play insane, but from what I just saw, it doesn't look like they've been scrimming it a ton unless our Singularity player on SAF has been doing outhouse scrims and trying to do it externally, because our survivors just seem to not understand some more of the nuances of Singularity. It's mostly his teleport power. We saw a couple times there them allowing Singularity to, multiple times actually, allowing Singularity to just swing through parts while overclocked and having the power break and getting tagged afterwards as well, which is not what you want if you're Singularity. You just greet it if he's overclocked and he's got to swing, because either way, you know, he's going to get rid of the pallet and he's going to tag you anyway, so you just conserve the pallet, take the hit. But very impressive result, Chief.
Oh, 100%. I mean, a 4K1 on this killer on Groaning 2 is not easy to achieve, but Mo has made it look pretty damn easy, I must say. But I do want to add, Smunk, we talked about maybe SAF's killer has been scripted. No, they haven't. It's SAF. I love the boys at SAF, but they have admitted a million times they have not scrimmed a single second for this entire season. They have been doing anything but playing this game when they don't need to. Other than Spacey, I'll give Spacey some credit. He is still grinding, making himself the best player he can be. But the rest of the boys are seasoned veterans on SAF. They're here to support their friend and not for much else. They know that the game is probably a little past them at this point. We're moving forward more and more, and they are reaching their end, I think, which is going to be sad to see, but it is probably why they are not too fussed about scrimming and trying all too hard. So no, I don't think Andrew or Sizz, depending on who we will see load up on the Singularity, has put in that many hours on the scrims, if any at all. So I do think a 4K1 is going to be pretty difficult to beat, especially considering, I don't know if you were here, Smunk, in the VC about half an hour ago, but we were watching Mo scrim his own team on Singularity, and they were putting in incredible performances against this man. So it's going to be interesting to see if they are able to manage a 4K1, that being SAF. That would be very impressive, and more importantly, look at this, Smunk. Addict is still fresh, bleeding out on the ground. We might, but we have
Caster's curse.
Caster's curse. Caster's curse. That's so unfortunate. I was going to say we might not have a tie condition to play for at all, but no, Addict has been spotted out. That is our fresh and fun 4K1 secured. No other conditions. A 4K0 needed by SAF to be able to take the set, and sorry, a 4K2 by SAF needed to take the set. 4K1 tie and 4K0 on Nameless Kings as survivors to clutch this one up and take us yet again. Although I do think, Smunk, if there's any team that's going to be able to put a stop to the Andrew parade on Singularity, it's most likely going to be this team. We talked about it just before the break. If there was a team that was scrimming a killer at the level of Mo on Singularity consistently, I would be damn scared to see what they can do against anyone else.
Yeah, it is concerning definitely for Mr. Loops here. Mr. Loops also apparently did something to his finger. So I don't know what finger he's hurt, but apparently you need to go get it looked at or something. So I wonder if maybe he's just got like a bandage or a cast on his finger and he's just playing like at a massive disadvantage as well in that regard. But there remains to be seen. We're taking the chase immediately at the start here at the Shack pallet. But looking at the build as well real quick as we get this chase going. We got Ruin, Pain Res, Corrupt pretty normal. Then we got Sloppy as well, which is interesting. Add-ons, we have the Nutritional Slide, which is the brown add-on. It gives us 2 extra biopods to play around with. This should be a tag at this felt pallet as well. Applying the Sloppy Butcher. I do believe the blue add-on he has there is the one that makes survivors broken. I forget what the requirement for that is, but very smart there from Claudette, pre-dropping that pallet and allowing Mr. Loops to get the overclock mode. But we are intentionally dying under pallet here. I do wonder if someone's nearby. No. Maybe just a bit of a misplay there from our Claudette player missing the input, and that would be a pretty reasonable down speed as well. We have a very comfortable hook here right in front of main. I believe this is a Pain Res too. This is a fantastic Pain Res to have on Singularity. So close to main as well. This is S tier Pain Res RNG. a great hook to start off here. Looking around though, we have pre-disabled the cameras on our most active gen, which is behind main, but don't think Mr. Loops here really gives a damn about that one. More interested in all the other ones that are visible within this hook line of sight. We do interrupt main, thankfully, while Ruin is still up, which is a great boon for us. Pushing Ace off the gen there, Mr. Mo himself, Zarina as well, over by this behind main, and looks like we're just resetting our cameras here. We're not really too fast about going for any tags or anything. We do see a pull coming through onto Claudette fairly early. I do wonder if this will be FTP. It is FTP. Mo himself giving the FTP to his Claude, preventing the tunnel out there, or at least shifting it onto Mo himself. As we do get the TP onto Mo, he has a pretty good jungle gym to work with here, but insta breaking with Overclock does leave him with only the window, but he is our live player. Going for a slow vault there. Andrew trying to pressure the other survivors while still in chase as well with Mo. He's just trying to push him off the main building here, but just keeping Mo like right behind him. This isn't bad at all, but at any point Mo can just kind of run away, but he's opted to play it safe and just stick around for a little bit here. Oh, the zoning here does prevent wide as well, unless he has a window very close here. He does have one, but with ping rules, he should get it, but no! Andrew plays it super safe, doesn't go for the swing, allowing Mo to transition back to this window, tries to fake it, doesn't buy, goes down, first gen popped in the background. Very interesting start there. Two survivors on the side of Nameless Kings infected as well, Mr. Chief.
Yeah, I mean, look, Andrew bought the time that he needed to be able to try and slow down the game, using his infects to, you know, just apply that to every survivor on the board, having Mio trapped all the way deep 9 by just standing right in the middle of the tile, making sure he couldn't really stray too far away, basically zoning him whilst being able to do everything else across the map. It's what makes Singularity so strong, right? You know, it was very, very well played. But yeah, that is going to be our second fresh of the trail. Another Pain Res, unfortunately, wasn't able to interrupt that first gen, but we did see Hurricane's gen being interrupted, our second gen potentially popping very shortly as we do enter chase back onto Hanli. He has to play around these fillers at 9 that we were talking about a bit earlier, a bit weak against the killer. We do get that stun there. It makes the overclock force us to be slow and fat, unfortunately. So that does give Hanli all the distance he needs to make the next filler, although I do not think we're going to be making... Oh my god, that's a lovely 50 win. I thought that was going to connect. Andrew losing the next 50 as well. Hanli doing exactly what he needs on this pallet. I think Andrew's just trying to force him to be stuck in this corner towards Shaq. We're going to win this 50 now, finally get this swing. That's going to be our tag onto our tunnel out as the second gen of the trial does pop. But what's really concerning about these gen pops is I'm pretty sure it was the gen at, yeah, it was like one at 12 and then one also towards main, I believe. Speaking of gens that are popping, sorry, not gens that are popping, but things that are going on, we see Hanli forcing basement. We spotted Ruin in the middle of the chase, which is what I was trying to get at as he does go down. This will potentially be a basement hook, but what's super troublesome, Smunk, is what I was wanting to also focus on right now, and I did mention a little bit last game, is that the gens are very 9 favored. We have 9, deep 9, we did have main, we had 7, and I believe we have a gen in Shaq. So they're going to be very, very easy to hold once we get to the 3v1. And we're going to try and force that as early as possible, I'm sure. But in the meantime, as we let Hanli sit on hook, Jua will be in chase. Committed all the way towards 11. We do have a pallet gym to play around, so pretty safe resources. Andrew tries to just keep him his zone. We are playing for the tag despite the fact Hanli has been unhooked. I think we're going to just get it in time. No, that's going to be a stun as we run out of overclock and blind as well. That's pretty damn troublesome if you are Andrew, considering we definitely need to be getting someone out of the trial. A third generator is about to be popping as we win another 50 against Zua. He doesn't get very much distance off that vault at all. Unfortunately, our teleport onto him was interrupted by the fire barrel of Doom. Third gen popping. That will be Andrew losing the 50 as we take the vault around not Hanli, sorry. Jua will be vaulting the L wall now, him on the ground. Finally, Ruin gone as well. This is definitely not a chase we needed, Smunk.
No, very much something I don't think Andrew should have committed to at all. He had Claudette in the basement there. The unhook happened mid-chase. I feel like we had the biopods around the shack to just go back, secure our tunnel, force a 1v3 at 2 gens, and then we might have actually been in a pretty decent position here to play for that 4K1. Maybe even a 4K2 if we get sluggy with it, because we started Ruin up, and if we had gone back for the tunnel out, we would have been able to interrupt the person cleansing our Ruin totem, because it was in Shack as well. Mo trying to play it safe here, unfortunately not really winning that, but Live bailing him out a good bit, able to revolt there onto another fast side, teleport nearly coming in through there. Andrew cancelling it, thankfully, so he doesn't get put on the wrong side of the window. Tag onto Mo here. I do wonder if he's going to commit the chase. We see both Jake and Zarina about to finish a gen, which will mean the Tycon will be met, but just hard committing to the chase onto Mo here as well. He doesn't have any paths to work with. He's just going to be playing around these windows and slow vaulting looking back is diabolical. Not quite having enough overclock to get that fast vault back there. And Claudette also about to pop the hill gen as well. So unless Andrew has the game system interrupted, which he does, great play from Andrew here if he's able to just push her off, but bounce and coming through onto Claude, allowing him to rotate over this power that is still not kicked and just playing some more 50-50. She is infected, so we can probably teleport to her, but it's a bit of an awkward rock to play around. It's not got a lot of good line of sights on it, and if we do teleport while she's too close to the pallet, we will lose her overclock and just break the pallet instead, allowing her to rotate to a different resource here. But thankfully we do get the tag, but unfortunately that gen is going to be sneaked in the background by whoever that was. I think it was Jake, but final gen popping. We do reach the win con. Nameless Kings as expected, taking the singularity set, but the full results for Andrew are yet to be seen, as we could probably play for high stages here. We have Jake in the corner by the Z wall, so we should be able to maybe get a hook on the hill there and just camp him to death, which I think will result in basic maths is hard. It's like 6, 7 stages, 8, something, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, it will be 6-3 if we are to take all of our outs right now. Zua dying on hook would be the 4th, 5th, and 6th stage acquired for him, and then obviously 2 on Hanley and 1 on Mio. A lovely result for the map. I want to point out this map is very, very hard on the killer side. The fact that we saw a 4K tonight is so well versed on the Mastermind. I would say that 7-3 mark you do expect normally is probably the most likely result, but if Spacey is to get a bit more ranging towards that 9-10 stages, even a 4K, I think he definitely is putting SAF in the pole position to take the set.
Absolutely, and he's also just mechanically very good. I thought that was the first dash, nearly just barely missing out on that tag onto our quarter play here. Once again, the first chase of the match, and Brutal Strength coming through that Mastermind, and pretty much a staple of his kit. He will actually be dropping chase onto Claudette to go pressure his gens. We see a Crow landing over by this gen here at 11, and we do catch out Jake Park here. Does he have a window close by? We see the break of wall, but the window's around the corner. I don't think Spacey gets his power back. It's going to force Jake to play the pallet, but with a bit of brutal zoning, we should be able to get that gone. Throwing the cracker fairly early here, and Jake will just be zoned away from the main building, much to, I'm sure, Spacey's pleasure, as he doesn't have to play around it that much. But unfortunately not able to get that second ban there on time onto Jake, as we have a bit of an awkward filler here to play around. A really strong filler actually connecting to everything else up here on the side of Cold Tower. Jake playing extra safe, going for the oh no, he's been scammed. Oh, that's criminal. Unfortunately, Spacey not getting the tag over the pallet. I know he's fuming about that. I would be. Jake getting off scot-free, allowing him to stay at this tile for a little bit longer. He might be able to hit this vault as well, and one not coming through either. Keep in mind, these guys are on ping as well. This is foul behavior. For the Mastermind here, unfortunately also missing that second dash, and we see in the background there one gen about to pop. I think that is the 11 gen with Lara and Ace sitting on it. They will get interrupted, and he'll get a free tag for it, but he pays for it in the main building 3 gen that is such a staple for Cold Tower here, being broken immediately, and Lara trying to play around this sort of relatively weak feeler, but against Mastermind's power it is a little bit difficult. We should be able to get this slam. Actually, great interception there from Spacey, good grab. Ace not able to sneak in behind him and get the power save, just playing it safe and rotating away. This will let Spacey get a pain res over here at 11, which is not a bad hook because we've used a couple of resources in this area, but if the unhook does happen and we see an FTP, they're going to have man building to play around, and that's always a bit of a ball ache to have to deal with. Claudette also working one. I don't know if Spacey spotted her or not. I think he's on the trail of Jake here, just going to be applying his eruption around there, and I haven't had a chance to talk about his add-ons, but we do have the dual beetle, which is supposed to be a meme add-on, but it actually ends up being pretty good. For those of you that don't know what it does for some reason, it halves your dash when you grab someone, which means you're more likely to throw them, which is really good because when you throw them, you have a shorter cooldown, and then they're sort of like stuck against the wall. It's a really, really handy thing to have for Mastermind because it can result in a lot of 2-taps. We see the unhook happening there in the background, but unfortunately, no FTP being applied to Lara Croft here, so I believe that should be Mo as our FTP player, and it doesn't look like he's gone for the unhook, unless I'm just wrong and they opted not to use it. But I feel for Lara here to play around with, rotating over to another jungle gem. Other add-on as well for Mastermind is the leather gloves. I always forget what that one does. I think it has something to do with the cooldown or like the movement speed or something incredibly minor. But I can't tell you, unfortunately, I'm not an MM player. But we have Lara trying her best to play around this part, and she's doing a really good job here. But the brutal zoning coming through here, this will mean that Lara will be dying here. We don't even need to use our power, really. We can just walk her down here. Another gen being popped in the background. Another gen afterwards. We can see Claudette, very high prog gen, as we do get our second hook of the game. Unfortunately, it's just not enough. And Nameless Kings, they're on top of those gens.
They really are. Now, Spunk, what was alluded to a bit earlier was them being Spacey. Spacey losing his top 3 gen of that sort of 10, 1, 11 main, whatever it may be. But we did have a 4 gen top. We had 1 and 2 and main to still play around after we lost 10. Unfortunately, we did lose 2. We did lose 1. We now have a 3 gen bottom, which is way, way harder to hold, especially with how split the gens are. You can see we have 8 and we have 4, and you get so much pre-run to top side where all your strong resources generally are. And unfortunately for Spacey now, I think protecting the gens is all we're going to be able to do. Committing to this tunnel out really could cost us. We know that Mio is on, I believe it might be the gen at 8, and if it's the gen at 8 that's about to pop, that is so... No, it is main. Okay, that's at least good for Spacey, but regardless, the one at 8 is about 50%. We're trying to force basement on the side of Han Li, just preventing getting thrown. We're not going to be able to make it out of basement or much further, I believe. Actually, no, I think we do make the window because that was not a throw. So, lovely stuff for Han Li, knowing that he couldn't get thrown there, needed to play his life. Also give Hurricane access to freedom by doing that, which is exactly what you do need for your survivors. But Spacey does need to win a 50 on this pallet. He does exactly that, swings right on through it. Although, it is too little too late, Smunk. Look at that, the gen at 8 is gone. We don't have a pain res in time. We're not going to be able to interrupt the gen. This will be our 3rd hook of the trial. We saw Mio already rotated for that door at 2. He's going to be right on that. Hurricane potentially rotating as well to play safe, get reset. They're probably going to play for the 3-man save. I would assume you realistically want to play to get as many stages out the door, but Spacey's all too aware that that's probably their intentions. They're not on the gate just yet. So we've spotted out Mio, another potential fresh hook if we're able to get the down quickly, although we do need to be very, very wary. There is a gate close by. There are people who could take hits to deny more stages. It really needs to be a down that comes in quick, Smunk, and I'm going to let you tell us how this chase is going to go.
It's not working out in Spacey's favor, unfortunately. Mo's doing a great job positioning himself to not give any free tags, tries to do a little window fakey, not working out there. Spacey's not buying it, not today. He doesn't believe in that kind of stuff, but we have a door here over at 11 that I believe Mo will be able to rotate to, but a good bit of pulling up the power there from Spacey will force him to duck in a little bit, but we have our own little escort service here, trying to buy us a bit of time. We throw Jake into the wall. He's injured. Jewel Beetle coming in clutch here. We're trying to take it down here on the side of Claudette, or not even a down, sorry, just a hit take from Claudette, and she's doing a great job there. Unfortunately, not red infection, won't be a grab.
Even 3 fresh would do it if he was to only get 3 stages. So, Smunk, first of all, do you think Mo is going to be able to do it? I don't think that's going to be very hard to answer, but if he isn't going to do it, how are SAF going to have to play?
Well, they're going to have to play super safe. Chase is going to go for about 10 billion jillion years. We can't be losing any 50s. That's already a really, really bad start. Mo's inside of their Crondolium, inside of their head, getting a good tag on Addict there as Mr. Eddie. I was going to make a mention of Mo's kind of insane build here with Pop, Pain Res, and Gift of Pain of all perks. Very interesting choice there. Newly buff Pop as well. We also, I think that's Lion Medallion. Again, not a Mastermind play. I can't tell you what it does. But also Jewel Beetle as well, which we've seen before. Addict, I think, will be going down here because, oh, very good patience from Mo. That's the first hook of the game. A very quick chase. Likely a Pain Res coming through on the side of Mo. This is one of 2 hooks that SAF can afford to give up. Already not looking good for them. They can technically afford to give, like, 3, technically, because then that would be a tie. And then you could go to Oni, and then if you win Oni, you replay a Mastermind, right? But it's looking real grim. Like, I don't know else what to say other than it looks bad and they have to play perfectly. And already we're making some pretty bad mistakes that are resulting in some concerning tags here. And again, Spacey, unfortunately, getting thrown edge map. Jewel Beetle getting a disgusting amount of value. Live getting us nowhere. We do have access to some decent powers, though. Spacey pre-throwing that power, trying to play it safe. Doubles back there, wins the 50, but we've got 2 dashes on the side of Mo, and that's going to result in the second fresh of the game getting slammed on hopes and dreams. Unfortunately there, that will also be a second Painter's Addict there in the back and getting reset. That will be Gift of Pain applied to him, which does mean every gen he does is 16% slower, so not bad. Mo, I think, has looked at this and gone, he's going to apply a lot of fresh hooks here, so Gift of Pain might actually get good value because we want to get reset, so we don't want to stay injured, so we buy a little bit of time, and he just knows things we don't, man. Like, he's very good stun there from Addict. He finds Addict just stealthing by a random rock at the edge there. He's infected as well, so sooner or later he's going to get red infection and be 4% slower. Unfortunately, getting slammed there, that infection's creeping up ever so slightly, and even though we won't have the negative effect of the full grab there from the red infection, he will be slower and much easier to catch any moment now. We see Ace getting pulled there in the background, red infection coming through onto Addict. He's trying to play the side of the best visibility. Mo trying to get a cheeky hug tech there, not quite working out for him, giving Addict the window once more at this tile. He's playing, Addict's trying to play for his life here because he can't really afford, he can only really afford to get hooked one more time if he wants to play for the tie, but if we're going for the win, we can't afford to do it, and we do get grabbed there. Throw coming through, once again slammed on, oh, I guess you technically hit the gem, but it looked like nothing, and that will be the second tag, and we found Sacred as well, stealthing for the beamer save. This guy just knows things, man, like, he's just in their head. Sacred trying to dodge that second dash successfully. Thankfully, not getting tagged for it, which is good. He's trying to stealth for the save, seeing if we can get a decent angle. We see Adam as well nearby. Andrew going for a cracker save. Very ambitious from him. As we just try to just buy that third hook to the best of our ability. And you kind of have to in that situation, right? Like, you got to go for those insane plays to try and play for that result, because even though the result is very dire, it's still a result that theoretically is possible. I mean, your opponent's just got it, so you can too, right? Andrew going for the, I think that was a slow vault there. He will get tagged here, very lucky. Unfortunately, the second dash not connecting onto Andrew, fakes the fast vault there. Mo not falling for it. This will result in an M1 tag onto Andrew. First gen popping in the background. Mo's trying to get a slam with dual beetle, but unfortunately that will just be a throw there onto nothing. No injury there from Andrew. Unfortunately still gets infected, and we're committing to the hook pull there. Addict crouching for an FTP, I think, but not having enough time to do it. Maybe a miscom there on the side of SAF. This does result in him getting tunneled while full health, pre-throwing this very strong filler pallet here. Sacred also nearby to take a hit if necessary, or lurk for a beamer save onto Addict, as currently we are at the Tycon. Addict needs to go for an insane 4-gen chase somehow. I don't know if it's really going to happen. It's going to be very, very difficult for him. 1% if anything, but winning that 50-50 on this pretty terrible pallet is a great boon for him, trying to stay alive for as long as humanly possible for his team there. Sacred slowly working another motor there in the background. He needs to get a stun here at this pallet, but Mo respecting it. Unfortunately, Addict losing the 50-50. This will spell the end, and SAF will lose the mastermind set. Oh, unless Sacred can get an insane beamer, but no, he's licking that wall. Very unfortunate here, Chief.
Yeah, that is honestly a pretty heartbreaking way for a season to end. You know, I don't think this is how SAF wanted this night to go at all. It's truly tragic. You know, the story behind this team is one that's very, very inspirational. They're a team that came together to support their young friend, a honestly generational talent in Spacey, trying to make him grow into be the best player of this new generation of talent that we have coming up in OCE. But you know, they've done so much this season, not only as a team, but for their friend Spacey, and to see it end in a, honestly, a bit of a whimper is a little disappointing, I will say, as a fan of the team. You know, this was something that you wanted to see them give it their best go, and I'm not saying they didn't try, but having it end so early into a set, there are 4 generators remaining in the win condition was secured a hook ago, so definitely not how you wanted things to go. But regardless, you can't discredit Mo. Mo is consistently proven that he is one of the best killer players we see every single season in OSL. I mean, hell, I'm sure you remember Smunk all the way back in Season 3. That's another incredible throw. Spacey's not going to be able to make anything. He's going to be on the ground. But, oh, you have an edge pallet, and that's going to be it. Slammed into Mo's face. He might be able to make it around this rock to avoid the bounce, but to no avail. It's going to be him thrown actually into nothing, so he will survive a little bit longer. Mo a little bit displeased with that one, although I'm not too sure it's going to give Spacey all too much more. Yeah, that's him going to be finally slammed and grabbed a hook onto him. That's going to be our 6th stage of the trial. 4 generators still remaining. Andrew running top mid. I think he's well and truly just wanting to have his fun at this point, so we will just have to see how this one will play out. But no, I mean, like I was going to say, Smunk, I think you will probably be one of the few people that remembers Mo joining OSL back in Season 3 and everyone accusing him of cheating. He was so aware and intelligent, and now obviously those claims have been dismissed. The man is legit. He's just that good. And look what he's done today.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job. Like, he's very consistent with how well he does play in kill. He's had a couple of hiccups here and there, but so does everyone. His killer pool is also very wide. He's got a very, like, a good list of killers that he can play to a very competent degree. Mastermind being one of them, as we've just seen. Apologies, I got something stuck in my throat. Getting a fantastic throw there from Jewel Beetle. This might be a downer to Andrew. Unfortunately, he did miss that fast swap there. That was a medium. We have Sacred coming in for the pull onto Spacey as he reaches his death knell there. Looks like we're going to be greeting the pain res here. Very ambitious from Mo. I don't know if there's a ton of gen progress being done for this pain res to mean anything, but I may as well go for it if you can, right? Also, a very comfortable hook here. Hill hook in the middle of the map, and it's a pain res. Could not ask for a better hook in the middle of the map here. Sacred doing a decent job trying to stealth. Unfortunately, not quite coming through. He's waiting a little bit for his sprint burst to come through. Mo looks like he's trying to line up for a throw, and that was a throw somehow, and it's going to result in a tag onto Sacred. Needs to play this rock pallet perfectly here, but Mo only using the one dash is going to have his power back already and trying to play around this tile to the best visibility. Unfortunately, not quite working out for him. It is a bit of an awkward pallet to work around as Mastermind because of the just weird geometry there, and Seiko just bolting back and forth, trying to win every 50, and he does win it. Power ball coming through on Mo. Seiko greeting the power. This might spell the end for him unless Mo swings early, but no, he does double back, reads Sacred's mind, and that will be him going down as the reset is happening on both these players at the hill. Slowly running out of resources. I don't think any gens are getting done here. I think we're just kind of playing for Chaser this time. But yeah, Mo, very fantastic killer. And honestly, even though SAF haven't performed the best tonight, that's not to say they're like a bad team or anything, or they've been historically bad. Like, they're in the finalists for a reason. They've had an awesome run this season, having multiple stellar performances and only a handful of game losses and set losses. Just unfortunately tonight, they're not quite making the singularity set work, and Spacey having a lot of bad luck there on the side of Mastermind. Like, at the start there on the set, he got scammed on that power vault from Jake that should have been an injury, and he just bounced off it and slid around. Classic, you know. Well, guys, we changed it so that way this wouldn't happen anymore, and actually we just removed all his text and still feels dog shit to play. So thanks Baker. That's okay. Death there onto Spacey. Really unfortunate. We're down to the 2v1. I should say 1v1 because I don't think Andrew has any intention of saving Sacred there. Power vault coming in. He's trying to go for a bit of a cheeky kickflip there, and it's just going to result in him getting thrown against the main building window. Good God, he's going for the window. Unfortunately, he will be dying there, and that will spell the end of SAF for Season 5 of OSL. Victory going toward Nameless Kings. They will be advancing next week, facing the Monoliths at Arch.